Welcome to 3x2, the show that takes three topics. Wait, hang on, that's not three. Three topics and throws them at two geeks. 1, 2. I'm Lars D, the Pseudo Kiwi, coming to you from 3x2 Studios West.
I think you just did too much. I can't even come back with that with something awesome. I'm the Illustrious Patrick M, coming to you from 3x2 Studios, Ohio. And I just had my thunder stolen. Fuck this, I'm done. Fuck.
He's gone.
Okay, I'm back.
We just get rid of him and say fuck it. Welcome back to another episode of 3x2, the live show where we just sit and talk about whatever the fuck we feel like talking about. And this is the fun part because tonight we're going to tackle a very, very sensitive topic. That of religion.
Yes. I'm not going to say too much because we'll get in trouble before I even get started. So to start it off, I think, do we have a little clip of some observational humor about religion?
I think we do.
Great happy song. So
I definitely think we do. Shall I roll it? Let's roll it.
the fuck.
Let's go check it out. Here you go, folks. Enjoy.
Walk the halls of high school with my purity ring. Unlike those other girls, I got my morals in check. It was easy to do till I got a boyfriend. And pardon my French, but he's cute as heck. But I made a pact to keep my hymen intact, and Jesus and I are tight. Never learned about the birds and bees. I was taught to keep an aspirin in between my knees, cause the Bible says premarital sex is wrong. But Jason says that guys can't wait that long. I don't wanna lose him to someone who'll do him. I need to figure something out. Well, there's a loophole in the scripture that works really well, so I can get him off without going to hell. It's my Hail Mary full of grace. In Jesus' name we go to fifth base. Oh, thank you for making me holy, and thank you for giving me holes to choose from. And since I'm not a godless whore, he'll have to come in the back door. Therefore, fuck me in the ass, cause I love Jesus. The good Lord would want it that way. Give me that sweet sensation of a throbbing rationalization. It's just between you and me, cause everyone knows it's the sex that God can't see.
Okay.
Well, I think that sets the tone for this episode.
Yeah, that was the loophole by
Garfunkel Notes.
Garfunkel Notes. I can't remember anything today. We'll drop a link down below, so go check out the whole video because it's
amazingly funny.
Holy shit.
It takes an absolute tongue-in-cheek stab at the, shall we say, the contradictions of modern religion. But so as we said,
in other words, it's bullshit.
That's right. So, as we said before the promo, this episode is going to address certain aspects of religion. So, we're going to give you a little bit of a disclaimer here, okay? We're not really going to bash religion. You know, we're not going to bash Christianity, Islam, Catholicism, Buddhism.
Except we are a little bit. But
we're going to talk about them. But
we're making fun of the more extreme and stupider and more ridiculous things. The things that deserve to be made fun of. All the things that are definitely something we can talk about.
Exactly.
We're not addressing your personal faith or anything like that. So if you're a believer, trust me, I spent the majority of my life being Catholic. So
yeah, and it goes without saying, we actually are men of faith.
That's the church's fault. It's the church's fault, bitches.
Yeah, says the guy who couldn't even get filled up by a Catholic priest.
Yeah, shit. I would even forgone the candy bar and a Coke if they'd have just fucked me in the ass. What? Like, seriously.
Is it because you love Jesus?
Reese wanted to fuck me.
So I got to start off by saying there is a reason why we're tackling this now. You know, because religion is something we can kind of throw in there at any point when we feel like talking about it. But this was prompted by something that I saw on TV recently. And I think I was watching a movie on AMC, and this particular commercial kept coming up over and over. And I was like, wow, this smells like bullshit. And of course it is. But it's for a so-called faith healer by the name of Peter Popoff, who is offering up this miracle spring water that will guarantee to cure whatever ails you, any illness, any hardship, financial, physical, spiritual, mental, whatever. It will cure everything. All you have to do is call them and they'll send you the free spring water, and that's it. Your troubles are all over. Yeah, it probably is. So I got a little curious and I started looking at this whole Peter Popoff thing. Found out that, believe it or not, the guy's church is actually in a warehouse district about 10 minutes from where I live.
Yeah, holy shit. You could drive over there In fact, I think after the show you should copy the link, drive over there, post it, said, "Hey, we're talking about your dumbass."
Yeah, maybe. That'd be funny. Yeah. So as I started doing a little bit more reading and some research on this Mr. Popoff, it turns out that this guy has been one of those people that have preyed on the sick and the infirm and the desperate and, whatever you want to say, for many, many years. Actually, I read a very interesting article written that was an interview with one of his personal damn it, you and those fucking index cards. It was oh dear God, it was a interview with a former employee of the ministry, so to speak. So and it turned out that basically it was just a sham business, and I know all about sham businesses because I worked for one when I first got to California. That was fun. But the thing is, what got me thinking is that we do this whole thing with, there are so many so-called faith healers, evangelists, whatever, that prey on people, just to fuel their own financial and whatever goals that they have, which is just ridiculous, So it got me thinking. I think I started talking to you about it, and the first one that came to mind for me was Jim and Tammy Faye Baker from the 80s and 90s.
Oh yeah, they're some of the worst. They were, but then again, they were hilarious with Tammy Faye and her makeup that was about
that thick, about 3 inches thick.
About as thick as this card.
Yeah.
So yeah, about that thick.
Yes. Of course, yeah. She was a clown, But
yeah.
The worst of it,
like pussy.
Yeah. The worst of it was perpetrated by Jim Baker, who ultimately got busted, went to federal prison was originally sentenced for 45 years. Through appeals, was knocked down to 8, and he was released in the mid 90s, I think it was, or late 90s.
At least he doesn't still have his ministry. This Peter Pound Pud, or whatever the fuck his name is. That cunt's still doing shit. Yeah, and at some point, I'm guessing they've found their way through the loopholes that other people got caught in, because he's still trucking along. Yeah, I mean, this is the bad thing. To give you some perspective on this, when I spent my years in the Catholic Church growing up, after doing the altar boy and not getting laid, come on, my asshole is fresh as the next one.
Yeah, have you seen your face?
I moved on to doing usher work, which basically meant doing things like gathering the collection. The plus side is you get to see how much money the Catholic Church is pulling in at the parish level,
which is a fuck ton.
Yeah, it's a pretty good solid amount, and that's just from one mass. And that, I think I was doing the 7:30 mass, which was the least populous one, and it was stacking cash. So I can imagine the bigger ones where you got the most people and they having to break out the extra sections. Yeah, they're pulling in a ton of cash.
Just remember, folks, the 7:30 mass is completely different from the 10:30 mass.
Not really. It's just faster because there's fewer people, and the priest is trying to get the hell through it because he's barely awake anyway.
True.
Yeah, I think. But that was back when they had that in the church I was going to. But my point is, the church pretty much is about generating numbers and cash.
Yeah.
And that's the legitimate good church is about that.
Right.
So
I mean,
when you get to these scamsters and these dickholes who basically need more money because God told them to buy a satellite or some shit,
or a fourth private jet for the ministry,
or build a whole university to spread the word.
Yeah. Wait. Well, okay. So, along in the cadre of the bullshitters, there was Jimmy Swaggart, who got busted with a prostitute and then had a.
Grab that pussy.
You sound like a certain president of the United States. But yeah, he got busted. He went on TV, cried, was supposedly forgiven. Basically met a similar end. Yeah.
Grab that pussy. Grab that pussy.
His ministry is gone as well, so he's long gone. There are a couple of others that through varying degrees of bullshittery, some are actually half decent and some are just make you shake your head because their behavior is just like, really, you guys fucking suck. But the ones I wrote down specifically, Joel Osteen. Now, I would not put him in the same bracket as the Bakers or Swaggart, but that guy is creepy. I mean, I don't know. There's just something about him, especially the way he acted when they had the hurricane down in Texas, and all these people who are affected by the bad weather, and their houses are flooded and all that shit, and he's like, sorry, bye, you can't come into my place. And he had plenty of room for all these parishioners to come in. He's like, bye, bye.
That's when you know you need to ditch your preacher.
Yep.
Again, it comes down to, if you're Christian, look at actions, not the bullshit that they're spewing.
Exactly.
Actions are going to tell you what a person really is. If it's all about money, probably time to ditch.
Yeah. Well, the last one I have on my list is actually Joyce Meyer. Now, I'm not going to badmouth her. I don't particularly follow her.
I don't know her, so I'll badmouth her. Who the hell is the stupid bitch?
Well, again, she's a pastor, and she does a lot of public engagements. And the thing is that I actually have to say that from my own observations, she would be very, very low on the scale of what we would consider bullshittery. I mean, a lot of people follow her and really enjoy her, and I've kind of had my eyes on her a little bit, through some stuff that.
Enjoy that.
Wow,
How are they
that reminds me, you did that same thing in the latest episode of Dragons of Adrian over on the Red Shirt Geeks channel.
Because I gotta hump stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not getting any.
Yeah,
I mean, there's always me playing with my nuts.
Oh dear God. Well, okay. But one of the things that really gets me isn't just the fact that they prey on people who are financially destitute or so on and so forth. They also take these hardline religious stances on different, what they consider immoral activity. Particularly in mind, recently there was a Supreme Court ruling. Yeah, there was a baker. There was a baker who had there was a case where a baker had refused to make a cake for it was a gay couple or gay wedding, and they basically said, "Look, I'm not doing it because I believe it's against my religion, and I'm not going to do it for you." So the case went all the way to the Supreme Court, and actually, I agree. I agree with the Supreme Court's ruling.
Yeah, but except that they punted the whole damn thing. They basically said, so here's one of the weird things, though. I'm actually going to come down on the side of the baker in this one.
Yeah, me too.
And to explain that, this is a matter. The Supreme Court, first of all, they punted on this big time. Basically, they said that they didn't address whether it was a violation of his religious liberty or if it was definitely discrimination based on a protected class. they basically said that the commission that made the decision did it with obvious anti-religious prejudice, so they were overruling that because, yeah.
Right. Now,
So
in my
slap
opinion,
of pencil, not an actual decision that meant anything.
right. Now, my personal opinion is that I think what the bakery did was a dick move, just because, I mean, come on. Fire out. I mean, seriously? You don't want the business? Okay, you don't want the business. But you don't have to be dicks about
My
it.
business too, but that's beside the point.
Right. I mean, there's another one. There's a one that's popped up in the news just recently about the hardware store owner who after the ruling came out put a sign on his business that said "No gays allowed," and like,
I'm surprised he still has windows, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't advocate actually throwing anything through his window, but
yeah, there's one. There's one other group that I didn't touch on. Because I knew that if I did, we were going to go down a rabbit hole. But I'll mention it just for the sake of mentioning it, and that is the what do you call them? The Westboro Bastard Church.
Oh yeah, the Westboro Bastard Church. We don't need to give credit though. Most of the anti-gay marriage and anti-gay religious people, even they don't want to touch these idiots.
Yeah.
If you remember them, they pretty much finally fallen on the news after the head dickhead died, and his granddaughter who was one of the more social people turned against the church and ditched those scumbags.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're mostly out of business because nobody cares what they have to say anymore. Nobody's outraged by them standing there holding the God hates fag sign anymore. It's like, meh, it's the Westboro Bastard Church. We don't care. Let's go on and care. Let's go on and find something we care about.
Yeah, exactly. So,
now, go ahead.
So the thing is that people might say, "Oh, that's wrong. It's you can't be sit there and be discriminatory against these people and so on and so forth." And it's like, you know what? Look, here's the deal. This country, when the Pilgrims came over from England in the 1600s and settled here in what would become the United States, that was done primarily because they were restricted from having religious freedom in England. So we have to understand that despite our beliefs, our religious beliefs, this country was founded primarily for religious freedom. Okay, that is the freedom to choose based on your religious beliefs. If you don't want to do business with somebody because you don't agree with their particular lifestyle because you say it's against your religious belief, well, then that's your fucking choice. Go for it. Good on you. Bye.
It's a little thing we call freedom of association.
Exactly.
Even if it makes you an out of an ass. Put it bluntly, this is why I come down with the baker, especially in the form of creating something of art. He is creating something memorable. Now, most of these cases, from what I've understood, the bakers don't mind selling something off the shelf, but it's when they go into the custom cakes, it's where they draw the line.
I suppose in a way it's probably because they feel like they're being included in the act of doing something that's against their religion, as opposed to just saying, "Well, hey, I made this, and anybody can buy it."
And in that, I don't have a problem with them making that choice to say. Of course, I also reserve the right to not give them my business.
Exactly.
That's part of this. Is if people who are doing this, using the government to beat the shit out of them, only fuels this anti-religious, our religions under attack fanaticism. I
agree. I mean, again, it's all about choice. They can choose not to do business with somebody because of their particular lifestyle. That's fine. I mean, that's their choice. We can also choose not to do business with them because we don't particularly agree with their actions. So, it's same. It just it is what it is.
Ultimately, if you push things too far, too often, if you post something that I find offensive, I probably will not come to your business.
Exactly.
I can think of a business that in town, for example, that during the 2016 election used their business's electric billboard to advertise for a certain cum-faced McDickballs, and I will never do business with them. So,
Speaking of
Come face McDickballs.
Yeah.
President, come face McDickballs.
That's right. Don't you forget the president.
Or how about President Cunt Lips McAsscock? Because apparently you get in trouble. Apparently it's terribly offensive and troubling if you call Ivanka a cunt, but I'm sure we can call Trump himself a cunt and be okay, because it's Trump.
It reminds me of an old 3x2 promo of the Central University of Northern Tennessee.
I wonder if Trump went there. No, that would require an education or intelligence.
I was gonna say, isn't that was that the university you were talking about earlier?
No, that.
Yeah,
maybe.
No. Right. So, one other aspect to look at is how religion influenced politics. In particular, we were talking about this before the episode started. The idea of Christians for Trump?
Christians for Trump. Yeah, my sister saw a lot of these memes about finally having a Christian president. Obama, from the Trump point of view, was more Christian than Trump. Seriously.
Yeah.
And that is assuming Obama was a Muslim. He's still more of a Christian than Trump. For fuck's sake. Bullshit!
I'm gonna have to get a banner graphic or something. I can just hit that button and come up. Yeah. I don't know. It's more fun. I think it's more fun watching you actually just put the index cards up, because seeing you pop a vein is worth it.
Yep. I mean, seriously, this one boggles my mind beyond anything. I mean, I don't even understand the abortion one. I mean, yeah, Hillary, yeah, abortion, yay for Hillary. And Trump said, abortion's bad. Okay. So I literally know people that voted based on that one thing for this cock-faced McShitdick. This pussy-grabbing cunt nugget.
I'm still waiting for you to tell me how you really feel about him.
We tried that in an episode several episodes ago, and it kind of sucked because, 3 episodes ago. And it turned out to not be too funny, because I can't be that funny about somebody who's legitimately that terrible.
Yeah. Hey, I mean...
Yeah.
Well,
when somebody's so bad, you got to give up the comedy.
The thing is, I mean, you have all these people who are banging on the Christian drum for Trump, and it's like, look, he may,
I mean, work with him on things you agree with him on, fine.
Yeah,
but,
to borrow from another political colloquialism, instead of a Republican in name only, a rhino, he's a Christian in name only,
or a human in name only. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. Sideways.
I have a feeling that this is a topic that would just like, it would be like excising a wound, or lancing a boil or a blister. All this shit's just gonna come out, and it's gonna be nasty. The thing is, okay, my opinion on it is that if you're a Christian, okay, if you identify as a Christian, or if you identify as a Catholic, or if you identify as a Muslim or a Buddhist or whatever it is,
human fucking being.
Yeah, there is a common good towards everybody. Okay, it doesn't matter who they are, what they do. There's a common good towards everybody. That then in itself is, for me, the center of the basis for faith. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about you, but I know for me, I'm a man of faith, but I am not a man of religion.
Yeah, I'm kind of in between-ish here. But yeah, generally, any good religion, any religion worth its salt is going to look at common good, at helping other people. And by the way, if your religion doesn't, your religion could go fuck itself and die in fire and burn.
Yeah. Any religion any organized religion of any kind that is based on exclusion, hate, you name it, is just not worth it. Just you can pack your fucking bags and go. We're done. Bye.
And side note, the gay marriage is bad doesn't constitute hate, the level of hate.
No.
Because, for example, I'm pretty certain I know why the Catholic Church does it. It's because marriage is about procreation, which is about getting numbers in the church. Because, yeah.
Right.
That's why no birth control, because more babies. We have more Catholics, and that means more money.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of all follows when you look at it.
Yeah.
Although I would put to the Pope that you could create a new sacrament for the gays to get into relationships. They get marriage license, and you don't call it matrimony, and you give them a thing that they have to adopt babies that would otherwise be aborted. Win-win. There you solve your gay marriage problem, and you've done something to help in the abortion issue rather than just throwing rubber fetuses at people and shit.
Dear God, I don't want to know anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't want to know anymore. So, going forward, if you're a genuinely good person, fine. It doesn't matter what you call your religion: Christian, Catholic, Buddhist, Muslim, whatever.
Pastafarian.
Pastafarians. That's pretty fucking awesome. But if you're a genuinely good person, then it doesn't matter what you identify as. That is just what it is. Okay, just be good to each other, and
don't be a dick.
Yeah, don't be a dick. Thanks, Will Wheaton. And to quote Bill and Ted, be excellent to each other.
And
party on, dudes! Wait.
You know I have a shirt I should... If I was wearing the damn shirt, it'd be perfect. You forgot to tell me this, you dumb ass.
Tell you what?
What's wrong with you? I'm going to quote Bill and Ted at the end of this thing that we're completely doing winging, and we don't plan in advance, so you have to plan in advance anyway, because I didn't think about it till now. Also, my dick's hard.
God, that sounds like my marriage.
I have no clue what I'm doing anymore.
Well, folks, this has been 3x2. This is all the time we have for this freaking episode. I'm going to do something different at the end of this episode because it seems to be the one thing that everybody else seems to do at their videos. If you happen to like what you're seeing, which we know you're not, but since you're watching, you might, okay? Might want to click that thing down there. It says subscribe, okay? Then that means, and make sure you like the videos and things like that so we can keep making these things, because it's fun. What the hell? It's like a sandbox for us. Yes, like and subscribe. You might want to hold it up long enough for people to actually read.
Hold on.
Like and subscribe, motherfucker. All right, folks. We are out of here. I'm Lars D, the Pseudo Kiwi.
And I'm the Illustrious Patrick M.
All right, we will see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yep. And if you get bored, you can go over to our Red Shirt Geeks channel and check out the Dragons of Adron, which is a really cool game show about gaming. And because we know we're gamers and shit. So, anyways, bye, folks. Bye.